everybody, and thank you very much for joining Women for Solutions webinar. We are proud to share that this is our 158th webinar where we create awareness, connect, learn, inspire, and real action to reimagine and to regenerate our world. I'm Laura Jaduru Koch, founder of Women for Solutions, a global network of thousands of women and men, entrepreneur in over 40 countries that share simple and effective solutions. That's why Women for Solutions. Towards a caring economy, the simple tools that we can actually choose to make our daily practices, our daily lives much better. And our tools of Women for Solutions range from personal, what you hear today, as well, we go all the way to sustainability. And Laura, our speaker, our moderator is an expert on that. Today, you will be absolutely, truly inspired because it's a topic and the speakers are phenomenal. The title is Meta Shakti, Reclaiming Our Feminine Receptivity in a Constant Expanding Metaverse. Our moderator, Laura Palmeiro, a very good friend, an amazing human being, is senior executive at Danone for more than 15 years in France, and also senior advisor for UN Global Compact for the last 3. She's also a great friend, but also what matters is that for the last many decades, she has inspired thousands of women and men in the incredible effect and effective way to create healing practices. And our speaker, Antonia master yoga instructor, incredible astrologer and healer with incredible vision of where we're going. But before Laura introduces Antonia, also a great friend, let's do the women empowering pose to start this in the most positive way. So put your shoulders back, stand straight, chin up, your eyes that twinkle with joy and determination, and with a super wide smile. Laura, the call is all yours. And you're muted.
Thank you so much. As a woman, I have to reclaim my voice, right? So thank you so much, Laura, for this introduction. I hope I can live up to it because, wow, you put the bar very high. Thank you so much for the introduction. I miss you. I'm living now for the last 1 year in Paris, and I have not had the chance to see you in New York for a long time. So I just wanted to briefly introduce myself. Our friend did it. I am mostly working, as some of you know already, in the corporate sector. And I am dedicating my whole life to making sure that companies, small and big, around the world, especially the big ones that have more impact, have to actually report on everything, all the impacts that they're having on sustainability issues, that is environment, social, health, etc., etc. So both on the private and the public sector, as Laura has said, I have been working with that in mind. And to introduce the meeting today, I've had the blessing to meet at end of 2019 in New York my friend and sister from the stars, Antonia. I was following hints, Egyptian hints here and there that led me to her, and we discovered very soon that we had something that was very key to us, to both of us, and that was our passion in life. And our passion in life is to try and improve life of other people, and especially women, because we realize that they are the less empowered today for many reasons, but in general to empower people around us. And we have been in very different ways, as you can see, me coming from the corporate world, and she's she's an incredible dancer, as well as practices yoga and many other stuff. But from many different paths, we came and we shared our passion for doing this. We have started to do it in a small, compact group of people. We gather once a month in our esoteric Sundays. Maybe Laura will want to share a little bit more about that later. But what is important is that we also share the passion for starting from ourselves. We thought that it was important today, and this is exactly what Antonia will be sharing later, that it is so important for us to establish, for each of us to establish a daily practice. And I was thinking today about how to introduce the topic, and I realized that the best way would be to start with something that I'm pretty sure that most of you have heard about, which is, in many cases, in many ways, and some people studying the new physics will say that this is applicable to everything, not to most cases, to all cases. What we are getting in our life is exactly what we are creating in our life with our thoughts, right? I'm pretty sure you have heard this. So we have our conscious mind, where we want a great career, a great relationship, we want great health. But what we are getting is, in some cases, is not that. And so the thing is that we have two minds. We have the conscious mind that wants something and that knows how to get that in many cases. And we have the subconscious mind, which in some cases is full of limiting beliefs. And how can you access that subconscious mind in order to change those limiting beliefs and put that part of your mind to work in your favor and to achieve automatically everything that life has to offer and has prepared for you? Well, there are, as I have discovered, there are three major ways of getting that. The first one is through hypnosis. Hypnosis, I'm sure you're familiar to that concept. You can do it through a practitioner. You can learn how to do self-hypnosis. In fact, hypnosis is how you get those limiting beliefs from at the beginning of your life, because until 7 years old, you are working, your brain is working at a very slow pace, and you are normally in a state of hypnosis. That is why children, in some cases, tend to misunderstand reality with their own imagination, simply because they are working at another level, as if they were meditators. And everything that you say to that kid at that age goes in their brain and becomes the truth without even thinking about it. That is the moment when a lot of people that actually love us, they start to teach us how difficult life is and the things that we have to be aware of and to beware. And so that creates, for most of us, a big load of limiting beliefs. Another moment that you can actually access this hypnosis state in a certain way is when you are sleeping. You can record something, some affirmations, positive affirmations, always in the present tense, and listen to them while you are sleeping. You are not aware, but your subconscious mind is taking that. Then there is another one, which is energy psychology. And that is what we call, what maybe is more well known as super learning. But that needs a lot of training, needs a lot of investment, a big investment. And but once you learn how to do that, it is really magic, because you can change things overnight. But let's go to the third possibility, which is the one that on which Antonia will be doing some practices, and the topic for today, which is simply something that is very very known to all of us, which is repetition. And the best example of this is when you learn how to drive. For those who know how to drive, the first day you are trying to drive, you don't make it. And on top of that, of course, you are putting your attention on everything, on the lever, the brake, the accelerator, you are looking at the street, and you believe that it is impossible to do all that because you are putting so much conscious attention on that. But once you do it repeatedly, at the end, many years after, you're just having the most complicated and engaged conversation with someone next to you, and at the same time, you're driving without even thinking of it. And how did you achieve that? By hypnosis or anything? No, nothing to do. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Once you repeat something, it becomes part of your subconscious mind. And this is the topic for today. When you have a practice, even if it is 5 minutes, 10 minutes of your time that you take for yourself to improve yourself, no matter how simple you start, that changes everything. Because by repeating it, it becomes part of you. And it can really, even if it is very simple and very short, it can really change a lot and improve your life dramatically. So without further ado, Antonia, sister, the floor is yours for the practice. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, both Lauras, Laura 1, Laura 2, for having us. We're so thrilled to share this space and this knowledge with you today. And I'm not going to introduce myself. We'll go right into the practice. So Laura said the practice is repetition, but also the practice is creating daily rituals that you engage in and that they're sacred to you. So how can we create a sacred practice that is not boring because it's repetitive, and that we could tweak every day and feel, oh, today feels like I'm going to do my breathing and I am going to do my affirmation. Next day, I want to do the yoga more than the breathing. So today we're going to do 3 little segments of a practice. The first one is a centering, shielding practice for the morning. The second one is a mindfulness practice for the middle of the day, whether you're at work, you're on the street. And the third one is a winding down practice before going to bed. And all those practices will be accompanied by short affirmations or prayers, which you can actually verse and phrase in your own unique way. So let's start. Let's just close our eyes for a moment and share the sacred space. Sit up tall. Take a couple of deep breaths and rest your awareness in your lower belly, and specifically picture the section between your navel and your sacrum. Go inwards there, bring your third eye there, and start to feel that cradle that all of us women have innately, that cradle of receptivity. And bring the breath there. And as you breathe, start to feel how the breath lands in this cradle and then is suspended in midair. And you don't have to do anything special. You just have to receive your breath. Try and think, rather than inhaling and pulling the breath out of somewhere, you are receiving it as an offering. Take one more breath to receive the offering of today as we connect in our sacred circle of women. And we engage in simple daily rituals to transform our lives. Feeling the power of our receptivity and the power and the responsiveness rather than the reactivity and the reactionary conduct. What is metta? Metta is an ancient Pali word which means loving kindness. How can we share our love to one another by permeating joy, affection, gratitude, and wholeness. And how can we go deeper into our Shakti path as we move through the rite of passage from force to power, when the energy that we own moves from force to power, when there's no effort, but it is seamless and flows unimpeded from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. You can feel you are in the membrane and in the pillar of Shakti, the potentialized, creative, feminine power that receives and heals, that is responsive and nurturing. So honoring our nurturing muse inside as we open the sacred space today for these daily practices. Taking a moment to feel your receptivity, to honor your femininity, and to luxuriate in the magic of being a woman this lifetime and sharing the gift of life through your heart, through your love, through your devotion. Gently open your eyes, bring your hands to your heart. Feel the connection through all our hearts in the group. Regardless of where we are in the world, we share the same love. And we will start the practice here. The first practice is to center and shield. It seems that in the morning, this is the first thing we need to do. You can do it in bed. You can do it after you have your little daily morning hygiene, or you can do it even standing. Hands to the heart, taking a moment to feel the power from within. Then bring your right hand over your left hand and feel the energy pressing down and up simultaneously. Point your thumbs down and up and flip. This is called a turtle mudra. Feel that energy. Then switch the hands and flip the turtle mudra the other way, right in front of your throat. You're opening your voice. And from here, we're going to inhale, gather the energy around us, and exhale, bring the right hand over the left as we contract the lower abdomen. Inhale, open up, expand to the wonder of the day. Exhale, bring the left hand over. Think you're forming a cross now. Inhale, press the hands up to the sky and down to the earth. Exhale, let them kiss, let them connect. Inhale, switch the arms, kissing the earth and the sky, and then back to the inner flow, re-inducing. And inhale, open to expand. And this time, the fifth time after we have formed the cross, crisscross the hands in front of you. Inhale once, right over left. Exhale twice, left over right. Inhale, connect the hands. Bring your fingers, your index fingers to point up, your thumbs to connect. Inhale through the screen of your third eye. Exhale, down, ground. Inhale, take the energy over your head. Now feel you are shielding your body. Starting from the crown, move them behind your neck. Exhale, in front of your body. Inhale, make a circle around your axis. And as you exhale, gently touch your lower back and bring the hands back to prayer. And we'll repeat the whole practice again. Inhale, expand, open. Exhale, right hand over the left. Let your body feel it. Inhale, open. Try not to think. Exhale, left hand over right. Deep contraction. Inhale, touch the sky and the earth. Stretch Exhale, connect. Switch the arms. Inhale, press down and up. Feel you're supporting the earth and the sky. Exhale, connect at your heart center. Inhale, open, expand. Let your body articulate. Exhale, crisscross in front of your heart. Inhale, crisscross the other hand. Inhale, your little triangle at your third eye. Picture what you are attracting in your life. Exhale, bring the energy down. And now inhale. Feel you're pulling an imaginary veil in front of your eyes and you're shielding your body over the crown. Exhale, behind your neck, down your heart. Inhale, make a circle around the body. And exhale, touch your lower back, contract, come back to prayer. Let's do it again. Inhale, open. This time in tempo. Exhale, close. You know it already. Inhale, open. Exhale, switch arms. Inhale, it's very simple, forming a cross. Exhale, back to the center. Inhale, open. Exhale, back. Now we're going outwards again, expanding, feeling the width and the range and the scope. Exhale, crisscross. Inhale, open. Very simple. You do a cross and then you do two braids. Inhale, gather. Hold, re-envision your vision boldly. Down to the heart. Inhale. Peel that energy. Anything that you don't need. Any veils that you want to burn, and shield your body for the day. Back to the heart. Inhale. Imagine you are wrapping your axis in this light. Exhale, back. Good. Stay here. Keep your eyes closed. Place your left hand over the right. Hook your thumbs and close your eyes. Connecting to our affirmations. The affirmations could be anything that comes to you at this moment. The whole point is to be here now. I am here now. I open myself to the immediacy of the moment. Thank you, divine force that flows through me. I am empowered. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this life, for the wonder of this moment. Thank you for the challenges that make me grow, for the insight that makes me wiser, for the love that heals and makes me thrive. Thank you for everything that has happened to me, is happening now, and forever will happen. For all of it has produced the perfection of where I am and the glory and wonder of where I am going next. After you have voiced your prayer for the day and you have set your intention, take a moment to settle in this space. Visualize your intention clearly, set in your heart. Try not to attach to it. Make it a very clear message that you want to voice to the world. Open the eyes. Bring the hands, this little birdie that was in our heart. Bring it to the third eye. Through your head. Now open your palms and gently blow away your intention for the day. Not trying to attach it. Shimmer the light of your own being around you and come back to your center. So this is just a morning practice, and it is based on Qigong and some mudra from the Natya Shastra. The main point is to center the energy. So we started here, we connected sky and earth, we flipped the hands, we honored the other vibration, masculine and feminine in one. Then we started to draw the cross to center, going in, one hand is on top, the other hand is on top, switching the arms, supporting the sky and earth, back to the center, switching back to the center, and now expanding outwards as much as you can and creating those two DNA serpents in front of you, little spirals, and the other spiral. And once you reach this point, you connect the thumbs and the index fingers. This is a very powerful and simple trine that you place in your third eye. This is where, as Laura Palmero said, we create the vision. We see it clearly. We do not attach to it, but we attract it by not clinging to our vision, but clearly seeing it. After that, you peel any remnants of misconception through your face. You shield your body and you feel how your hands are rays of light that create a cylinder around you, a shield of protection. Once you come back to the center, you bring the energy into the heart. The prayer is up to you. It could be an affirmation, it could be one word, it could be no words, and just a short attunement to the energy of the day. Feeling at the end of the practice, we will attune to the energy of the day, and I'll guide you through a slow attunement. So this is our first practice, right? If you have any questions, we could voice them now or later. The second practice, right, is the mindfulness practice that you could do anytime during the day. If you're working at home remotely, you just take a moment for yourself, find your space at home, you close the eyes. There is no outer form here. Your hands are rooted down into your knees, so let's all do it together. I'll walk you through it more for the technique than the inspiration, and then we'll talk a little bit about mindfulness. So the first concept is to come back to the breath and to feel how your inhales and exhales are extending. And instead of focusing on the in and out of breath, you're actually going into the space between. Let's try it together. Inhale. Place your tongue on the roof of the mouth. Exhale. Keep your lips parted, but your mouth closed. Inhale. Just trace the inhales and the exhales a couple of times. And do 1/3 in and out breath. Now, as you inhale, take a moment to hold the breath. This is called kumbhaka in yoga, breath retention. Feel the saturation of the breath in the holding of the space for the breath. And then when you cannot resist any longer, exhale. And let's try it 2 more times. Inhale. Hold the breath. Hold and resist the urgency to breathe, and exhale all the way down. And one last time, 3rd time, inhale. Hold. and exhale. Now let the breath flow seamlessly as you start to tune in to your surroundings. So you're not drawing your attention inwards, you're doing the opposite. You're moving from inside outside. And start to feel the energy of this day in your space, the connection of your body with the floor. Are you sitting on a chair? Are you on the floor? Are you at your desk? Are you on a couch? Where are you? Bringing awareness to everything that is within and around you. And notice any sounds around you. After you tune your ears to the soundscapes, see if you can sense and even see colors with your eyes closed in front of your third screen and third eye. Just go into the inner screen and notice any images, any colors, or just the simple void. You're not focusing on the breath, you're expanding your awareness outwards, and you're just paying attention to everything that is surrounding you. Is your light dimmed? Are you in a light room with sunshine? Is it warm or cold? Allowing your sensations to register. Any nuance, any detail for your mind. You're immersing yourself in this space. Now start to feel you're being held by the space around you. And as you hold your space, you are being held by the space. The more centered you are in this space, feel the centeredness now, your connection with the ground. You're firmly anchored in your purpose. You know what you're doing. You are here now. The more you expand your space, the more the focus goes inwards. Bring the focus now on your intention and rest your mind on that intention. The one intention for the day. Start to see it exit your body and travel in this space around you, creating rays of loving kindness to transform and heal all that needs to be healed and changed. Take one more breath. See yourself in your reality here and now. Aware, grateful, fully centered and present, and in alignment with your spirit. Slowly draw the outside world inside as it becomes part of your physical frame, as it moves through your heart and it settles into your third eye as another level and layer of your consciousness. Whenever you feel ready, open your eyes. Bring the hands to the heart. So this is your mindfulness meditation to do somewhere during the day. Whenever you feel you're frazzled by work, by the chatter of your mind, it's a really good practice to become aware of your surroundings and not to shut anything off, not to shut your mind, but make it a lens of perception and a frame of reference. And mindfulness is a Buddhist tradition, right? And we want to get into that space of paying attention to without trying to change anything. We're not controlling, we're not being controlled. We are in a neutral state of equanimity and grace. As we come to that state of effortless grace, we get into our divine feminine receptive aspect, and we start to radiate that positive vibration of metta and then of Shakti, the empowered female energy that grows, that nurtures, but also that sustains. So this is our second practice, and it's really nice to do it sometime during the day. Even when you're walking, you can do it as you walk with your eyes wide open in a lucid state of awareness. The whole idea is to pay attention, micro attention to every little action, every little breath, every little movement around you and within you. And then the third practice that we will attempt today is a winding down practice before going to bed. And we will finish the day with relaxing and then being grateful. And this particular practice comes from the yoga tradition of the Natya Shastra. So we will do a little bit of mudra with it, but we'll also do some breathing. Right, so we will come back to our Garuda Mudra, the little birdie that we did in the morning. So we are going full circle, right? We're coming here and we are connecting the thumbs again. We're going to inhale the hands over the head, pressing the hands into the ceiling, and exhale into our belly. Connecting to that cradle that we started from, where we invoke the muse. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, very simple, nothing fancy, just coming into your relaxation response, eliciting the parasympathetic nervous system. One last inhale and exhale. Now, the same mudra we did in the morning, but this time we're just going to hook the pinkies and point the thumbs down. And we're going to plug one thumb into the navel as we exhale into a deep contraction. And as we inhale, we're going to plug the other thumb in the third eye. Exhale. So we're connecting the center of the sacred seat of our soul with our vision. And inhale. And exhale. And we do that 9 times. Because 9 times gives us a full circle from inception to completion. Inhale and exhale. Why are we connecting the navel with the third eye before going to bed? we are eliciting insight, but we are also eliciting the parasympathetic nervous system response. And this mudra calms us down. And when we're done with the 9th time, I don't know whether we did 9 now, but you will do it on your own. We bring the thumbs back to our birdie mudra. We place our 3rd finger, the middle finger, into our nostrils, and we will practice Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, alternate nostril breathing. We will start inhaling through the left nostril. Close it, hold your breath. Practice Kumbhaka. We tried it before. Exhale through the right. Close and hold. It's harder to hold here, but resist the urgency. And now inhale through the same nostril you exhaled from. In this case, our right. Close, hold, exhale left. We're alternating the flow of air. Close, inhale through the left. Hold, exhale, right. It is seamless once you get to know with your body. Inhale through the right. Close, exhale left. And we'll do one more cycle. Close, hold, inhale left. And close. Exhale right. Once you're done, bring your thumbs together, connect your knuckles. And this time, before we did the triangle mudra, for the night, we're bringing our index fingers inside. We're pressing the knuckles and we're creating a little drop right into the 3rd eye. Inhale. And exhale, spill that energy down as if you're pouring it down into the earth. Inhale. Feel that you are attracting only light, and exhale, you're clearing anything from the day that you no longer need. And inhale. You are decompressing the mind, relaxing the body. Exhale, and we'll do one more. Pouring in and pouring out. And exhale. And bring the hands to the heart. And here is our evening prayer whenever you're in bed or you're sitting at your altar, at your little shrine or sanctuary. You open up the heart to the wonder of this moment. You exhale with deep gratitude, appreciation, and joy, and humility, and forbearance. You inhale, you point your thumbs up, and you embrace the whole world, and you send your loving kindness into the world. And exhale back into the heart. Inhale, seeing that energy of love permeate through the atmosphere. Exhale, send it back to the world. Inhale, the feminine mudra. Make 2 circles around your bosom, and exhale, hook your fingers like a wigwam. point them down to the earth to receive. Bring them up to the third eye. One last moment of residing your attention in your inner vision. And exhale, make a little chalice with your pinky and your thumb and bring it eye level. See yourself living the reality you want here and now. Gaze only in the chalice. You are here now, living and thriving in your highest, creatively expressed self. You are receiving the glad tidings and you're generating love, abundance, and receptivity to the divine flow. Close the chalice. Close it. And seated into the ground, into the earth beneath you, feeling that strong connection and anchoredness. Close the eyes one more time. Take a moment to do your own affirmation, and these are your own words. I usually use a prayer from Esoteric Healing, and it was written by Ani Besant, and I love it so much. But you can really not say anything. Feel your presence again. Feel grateful. Feel loved. Feel you're thriving in abundance. And know that this is what you're going to get the next day. And you go to sleep with that sense of joy and appreciation. And here is the prayer as we keep our eyes closed and we commune into this mutual ritual. Beloved Almighty Presence of God in me, and beloved Holy Shakti Self, I rest in the sacred grounds of my receptivity and allow my feet, my hands, my heart, my mind to be messengers of good. I know I'm a valuable being. I know that I will receive the guidance, the insight, signals to always be at the right place, at the right time, for my highest good and those around me. This I know, and for this I am grateful. I enshrine my home in divine light as I stand in the light of my divine. Open the eyes, bring the hands to the heart, and you're ready to go to sleep. So this was our third practice, and it incorporated a simple breathing technique with this mudra. The mudra is very simple. You hook the thumbs, you make a little birdie, you go up and down to the heart, and every time you breathe, you feel you're remembering. Once you're done with 9 of those, you practice the alternate nostril breathing. Usually it's practiced with one hand in Vishnu Mudra or in Jnana Mudra. But I find this, and I've found this throughout the years, really effective when you really connect through the third fingers. This is your fate, your Saturn line in palmistry. So you're actually activating your fate and you're weaving your destiny through your conscious breath. So you do as many rounds as you need of alternate nostril breathing. Once you're done, you create the little drop You exhale, you spill everything from the day that bothered you, and you inhale, you recharge with light. Usually you can visualize white light or golden yellow light, just light, light, light. You pour and pour. And then once you're done with this, here is that feminine empowerment mudra from the Shakti tradition. You draw true circles around the bosom. You hook the fingers. It looks like a wigwam, right? A little tent of the Native Americans. You press that and you seal it into the third eye. And then from there, like a fan, your fingers come into a chalice. In your chalice, you picture yourself in your reality here and now, living what you want, how you want. You close it and you seat it down. Once you seat it, you take your little gratitude prayer for the night and you come back to the present moment. So I think we have very little time for questions, but these are the three practices. The first practice is for the morning. So in the morning, we do centering and shielding. This is a Qigong practice, very easy, going up and down, crisscrossing, finding the center, wrapping ourselves into our energy, and we are shielded. The second one, mindfulness, is your own train of thought, the moment of the day, the surroundings. And the third one, the Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, is the best practice to do at night before you go to sleep, as it relaxes the mind and it elicits the parasympathetic nervous system response. And the little mudras that we did, you don't need to do them if they don't feel intuitive. Don't do them. Don't force them upon yourself. You could just keep the hands at your heart. But what is important is to do the alternate nostril breathing with the arms crisscrossed. Why crisscrossed? Because we are forging the cross-lateral brain integration, and we are forging new neural pathways and creating and sprouting new synapses in the brain. So that's why we're crossing the arms. Anything in yoga that is crossed is forging the new synapses. I wanted to do some also yoga poses, but I guess we'll do it another time. And we can open the floor for questions. There are just 5 poses that are really considered the Shakti poses in yoga. And for that, Laura, I will send a video from my yoga channel that all the ladies can try on their own. This is one, and another one with mudras, and it's a beautiful video for the chakras and the mudras. You could practice it on your own. It also reactivates the Shakti power. So 3 rituals during the day. Maybe you have time for just one. That's okay. The most important thing, as Laura Palmero said, is to keep the practice consistent. That's why it's a practice that you don't skip it. Maybe it's 5 minutes. Okay, it's great. You're there, you're present, and these 5 minutes are like an eternity for you. Don't skip the 5 minutes, right? This is the magic of the practice. You don't have to do the same practice as well. You will find yourself that you will use these techniques that I showed you, but then your body will do something else. And that's beautiful. Then you will keep that wheel of reinvention of your body to continue searching what is great for you. So this is just, a frame, a point of reference. Maybe it doesn't resonate with you, but it will get you into a state of centeredness and in alignment. And there's so many practices from different traditions. I like to mix them up, to change them up, to allow my body to decide what to do and how to do. And we can just briefly answer 1 or 2 questions before we close, right? If there are any. Otherwise, I will close with something very interesting for this day. We will determine the vibration of the day and what this day brings to the world. But if there are any questions, I would be very happy to quickly answer. I don't hear you somehow.
Sorry. Thank you, Antonia and Laura. This has been really a great practice. I truly believe it's so important, the daily 2 minutes, 5 minute practices that will make us change our personality, our lives, and make our life much better. Can you tell us a little bit more about why you are so involved with mudras, hand movements, rather than most meditation classes, they put you like this and that's it. Why so many mudras that help that make the practice more efficient or effective or spiritual?
It's a great question, Laura, because first of all, the practice feels like a dance, and you don't have to rest only in the position where your body is stifled and stiff. This is one. But most importantly, the mudras are seals. When you do this mudra, the simple prayer in all traditions, we are connecting right and left. We are transcending duality. We're coming into unity. When we did the turtle mudra, we are actually opening the portal to the earth and the sky, and we are becoming intermediaries between the earth and the sky. So these are like energy seals, but they're also sacred codes because these are geometric representations of the natural order and the universal flow. I love this mudra, for example. It feels like, oh, you want to drink that. Because when you connect the pinkies, you're actually opening the two main meridians in the body that jumpstart the entire endocrine system. So with this simple mudra, we are allowing our glands to secrete the hormones and to connect us to our hypothalamic pituitary ovarian axis. And we know as women, this is our axis of receptivity. When that axis is broken, that means we become irritable, annoyed, irritated, angry. We want to come back into that harmonic resonance. And the hypothalamic pituitary ovarian axis is fueled by this mudra. That's why I wanted you to learn this mudra. It's very simple. You flip the hook of the pinkies and it creates exactly, Laura, an integral side of your body. So the mudras seal the energy, they contain the energy. And we know both in yoga and Qigong, when you contain the energy, it moves from force to power. So we are actually activating the whole body and reactivating the self. It's like a cellular reboot. The reason I use more than one mudras is because I like the sense of flow in the practice, but maybe because I'm a dancer. But I am not trying to force it upon my students. And I always say, look, if the mudras don't come naturally, don't do them. Just stay here. And that's more than enough. You don't have to force it. Same goes with the mantras. Some people love mantras because Sanskrit rolls beautifully in their tongue, but some don't. So it doesn't really matter. The practice is the morning, but mornings we have to center and shield from outside energies. We have to have a nice, beautiful aura around us. In the daytime, mindfulness is amazing because we're not shutting the world off. We're bringing the world in. We're embracing the world and we're being embraced by the world. And at night, we have to wind down, and alternate nostril breathing is one of the best techniques. And then we have to show gratitude and clear anything. So that's why we did these 3 rituals. But there's many more practices that we could incorporate as daily rituals that we could do another time. Yeah.
Truly fascinating. And I think maybe we have time for one more question. I have many more to ask, but I don't see anybody. But I can say, you mentioned to close with gratitude at the end of the day. Why is that? And what does gratitude mean? How neuroscience our brain is affected when we are grateful.
Yeah, it's very important that whenever we're grateful, the whole metta word, which comes from Pali, contains gratitude, love, and kindness. So all these three words put together actually encompass the concept of gratitude as an attitude of receptivity and embracing the world. And when we are grateful, like Laura Palmero said, we create all the different prerequisites in our life to attract what we need. If we come from a state of gratitude and a state of appreciation for every moment as an extraordinary experience, then we start to emanate this energy and heal. It's the most healing energy. And Bruno says yes. You know, Bruno is barking at that moment in gratitude. And you know, you ask neurologically what happens. Yes, when you're grateful, you create those endorphins, the happy hormones start to flood your body. The same thing when you do yoga, when you practice any type of physical activity, and it turns all of those, you know, negative spaces in the subconscious, which could have been tarnished by any emotional disbelief or denial. It lights up those parts of the emotional brain and creates a very relishing experience. So it's very important to practice gratitude. It's maybe the most important practice.
And if you think about it, you can only feel gratitude for something that you have already received.
Absolutely.
And that is the reason why it is so important, because when you feel gratitude is because you are thankful for something that has already been given to you. And therefore you eliminate these limiting beliefs of, I don't have this, I want that. When you want something is because you don't have it yet. If you create this idea in your head that you already have it, and that's why you are enjoying it so much, and that's why you are so grateful for it, it goes together with the idea of, as we say, in the present tense, not in the future. Today, I already have it. So that is why it's so important. And we practice it regularly in different ways with Antonia. And I think that we all have little examples of how it really works.
I think all ladies in this shared space and sacred space practice it in their own way. And that's the beauty of it, you know, to be always in that sacred space and to create the sacred space at home. And that is created through the practice, daily practice. 5 minutes. Everybody has 5 minutes. No excuses. Right? So we can, whenever Laura
So thank you, Antonia and Laura. I don't know if you want to give us just a few closing words, and then Antonia, or to
Antonia, please.
I want us to just understand that every day holds a vibration, and the vibration comes from the date. Today is the 20th. You add it to the first month of the year, which makes 21. You reduce it to a single digit, which is 3, and you add it to the year 2022, which is 6. When you add 6 and 3, it makes 9. So today, for everyone on the planet, it is a day of spiritual awakening. So let us honor that through our loving kindness, through our Metta Shakti practice every day, and understand that every day holds a frequency. And as we attune to that frequency, we can better serve ourselves, serve the world, heal ourselves, and heal others. So this is a beautiful aspect of numerology, which we can touch upon another time. But today, the 9 vibration, we are communing in our spiritual abode, and we're sharing that spiritual energy of loving kindness within our group and throughout the world. And that is what the Metta Shakti path is. Revolutionizing the world through loving kindness, appreciation, and inspired conscious action. Namaste, as the yogis would say, the divine in me honors the divine in all of you. thank you today for the practice. Thank you to Laura Koch and Laura Palmero. This was truly amazing. And we hope we'll be able to do more of these practices for women.
Thank you, Laura, for having us. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And thank you, Laura. And thank you, Antonia. This has been truly inspiring. I think that after this, we definitely have to have everybody on the line morning practice, at least 5 minutes. And then from there, we will hear from you maybe in the WhatsApp group.
Yes, I will send the video for women and a couple of videos to practice on your own whenever you feel like, from the comfort of your own home.
Thank you so much. And we'll definitely put it into the system. Bye to everybody.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.